Everybody good, right? Nobody need help? Okay. Well, let's continue then. We're gonna open again terminal. And first step, what we're gonna do is log in as a root. Remind me how I would do this.
Sudo tech I or SE root.
Perfect. I'm gonna go with sudo tech I because I remember my password now. No, wait, they fixed that. I could just see like typing asterisk. Oh my God, that's okay, guys. Big announcement. They finally fixed that. For over 30 years, Linux had this security where you could enter your password without entering anything. So I wasn't even looking at the screen when I was entering and more like paying attention to the keyboard, make sure I press the right keys. I could at least see now that I'm entering something. I feel very happy right now. Such a little thing can make me happy. Okay, so we're going to create new directory. And we had to become a root because we're gonna create this directory inside of the root directory. So to create something inside of the root directory, we can go to the root directory, or we can just use an absolute path. So how about first we will figure out where we are.
Home directory.
Everybody's a root now, right?
Yes.
And I'm in the root's home directory.
Yes.
What is the path to my home directory?
Oh, to the home directory or the root directory?
To my root's home directory, root user.
CD /
CD / is the root directory.
So you're.
But I'm asking, that's where the confusion always comes. So I'm a root user, and as a root user, I need my home directory, right?
Oh.
What's the home directory for the root user?
/root.
Good. So actually, if I run pwd, you will see /root. It's been confusion for all students through the years. When I say go to the root's home directory, they go into the root directory, which is just /. Or when I say switch to root, instead of switch user, they going to switch as CD. They switching directory, but that's why we're going to agree on terminology. If I say switch to root, we're switching user. We're becoming a root user. If I say go to root, that means you CD / to the root directory. And if I say go to roots directory, roots as with apostrophe S, or root home directory, that means / root. Agreed? Cool. So I can stay here without going anywhere. Directions in the log tell otherwise, that you need to go to the root directory. But I also want you to be an advanced users, and I can show you that without going anywhere, you can manage like staying in one place, your entire system. So right now, I want to create new directory, and this is gonna be shared directory. So because it's gonna be a shared directory, it has to be somewhere where everybody can access. Let's think about locations that every user can access. Root directory. So I'm gonna say mkdir / and my new directory is gonna be called terminal talk. Now, if you will put space between terminal and talk, what are you gonna do? You will actually create two separate directories. One is inside of the root directory called terminal. Oh, I actually separated wrong, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. And another gonna be inside of the root's home directory, which called talk. And we don't need that. We actually need one directory inside of the roots directory. No, not root, inside of the root directory. And it happens that you have to create file or directory that has a space. There are ways to do it, but Linux hates spaces. So we have to agree that at some point, you have to just give up spaces or use dashes or underscores as spaces. Okay. Now I need to create new directory inside of this terminal talk, but again, I can just do cd/terminal talk and create directories there, right? But I also can just don't do extra steps and create directories directly where I need to create them with using an absolute path. mkdir terminal talk /, and we need directory scripts. Now, we need to, for our report, we actually need to always verify that command work that we created what we're supposed to create. Again, we could cd into terminal talk, but why would we do extra steps when we know how to use command line? So instead, we're gonna do ls, and let's do -l, so we can see a little more information. And we're gonna do / terminal talk. Okay, so we currently see that it has a script inside of it, which means we just did everything correctly and it's working. How you can see also the terminal talk itself. It's ls, but it's ls with different options. AL, right, ls-al terminal talk. So now I can actually see information about directories that above my scripts, which is parent directory for the scripts is terminal talk. Okay, we're going to work on permissions and ownership of directories and files later, like in the second half of the semester. But I already want you to understand basics of it. So if we're looking at our output, we have D as a directory. And if it's linked, what do we see? L. And if it's a file, we see a dash up front. Then you have R, W, and X. Read, write, execute. Execute is a must for the directory because basically when you enter in directory, you're executing it. But not for files. It's important to have execute permission for executable files like programs to run and directories. Now, first set of permissions belong to the root user, right here. So root user can read, write and execute means a root user can access, root user can make changes, and the root user can execute as run scripts. Then we see second set, read-x. And this set of permissions is for the root group. That's another mind-blowing. Besides root user, now we have also root group. And here's the reason. Every user has its own group where they only members, so me, myself, and I, named exactly as the user. So when you create new user, the new user by default receives its own group. Weird, agreed, but that's how it works. So the root group has read and execute, not write. And the third set of permission is read and execute for anyone else. What it tells us, if we're gonna make it a shared directory, can we just share this with anyone else and they will be able to share documents, share files with each other? They only can see what's inside of it, but they cannot make any changes. Write means it's creating files, write means it's deleting files, write means it's just making changes. So right now at this moment, nobody can, except root. That's why for a little bit, we're gonna work as root, since we did not learn yet how to change permissions. Okay, please take a screenshot. And that's actually going to be your first and second task. You can take them separate, but doesn't really require it because login as a root is kind of too basic. Should be too basic now. So we're gonna just save it and we're going to name it creating new directories. Or you can create task one, but then with each lab, you're gonna have task one, multiple task ones. Otherwise, you will have to separate this and manage those screenshots into different files. I mean, into different folders. Okay. We're going to create new document that will be inside of the scripts directory. And again, we do not have to change directory into the scripts directory to create something new there. But what can we do? We can use an absolute path to that directory. So first, to make it little easier for you, I'm going to show you exactly how we can do it. So we're gonna use command touch. And command touch allows us to create like a dummy file, basically a placeholder for a file that doesn't have anything in it, no information. And we're going to call it CMD nodes. CMD underscore, because we not allow spaces, nodes. .txt. .txt extension tells us it's a text file. It's going to be a text file. But in reality, for Linux, it doesn't matter. For Linux, everything is a file. Everything can be opened as a text. And that extension is more like a Windows thing, because Linux recognizes files by the content. So even if we create like cmd underscore notes without .txt, we still can put text in it. But at this moment, if I will press enter, where I'm going to create the cmd notes
In the whole directory.
in the root's home directory, and that's not what I want to do, right? So instead, I'm gonna go up front and I'm gonna start / scripts / cmd notes. So this way, I know it's gonna be exactly where I want it to be, not in root's home directory. Now, I don't want to type this absolute path every single second I need to access my cmd notes, because we will be accessing and typing text into it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to cd now to terminal talk scripts. So now I'm inside of this directory and I'm gonna verify that I see my file that I just created. Please take a screenshot. To make sure you understand what screenshot you need. That's as much as I need to see. Now, I'm gonna use echo command. And now we're going to learn double quotations and single quotations, since this was not in the manual. So we're gonna do echo and start with the double quotation marks. And the reason we're gonna use double and not single, because when we use single, everything going to be recognized as a text. With double, we can still use commands, and they will be recognized as commands. We still can use different variables, and they're gonna be recognized as variables. Single will completely remove this. So we're gonna do text, use, now single quote, man, to explore full documentation. Period, double quote. And now we're going to add this text to cmd notes. So space, and we're gonna use greater than. Now, you have to be careful with greater than, because if you have existing document that might or might not, you don't know, have already some content in it. The moment you use this redirection sign, you will erase everything from that document and place the new text. However, if you want to just add a line, you're gonna use double greater than, and this type of redirection we're going to call append. So we're going to append the document, and we're going to append cmd notes, and I'm going to type cm and then let's just pretend I'm lazy and I don't want to type it. Well, it's not pretending, I am lazy. So I'm just gonna press on tab, and tab fills in everything for me. So I don't have to type the name of this file. Enter. Okay, now we're going to echo a new line. But at this time, I want to start with a single quote. And we're gonna type everything with the single quote. Use help for week syntax help. Period. Single quote. Append. And we're gonna append it into CMD notes again. I put C at this time and M and tab, and it's not. Oh. Interesting.
If you need a space after your single quote, the quote's single quote.
Thank you. In Linux, it's really important to pay attention. CM and tab. And this way, I didn't have to put additional quotation marks inside to make sure that my man is not going to be recognized as a command and going to be recognized as a text, because everything inside of the single quotations is a text. Make sense? So double quotations allow us to put text and execute commands in one, while single commands recognize everything being a text. And the last one, we're gonna do echo and single quotations. Use type man to see if the command is built in or external. And again, closing this with the single quote, space, append, space, and C, tab, enter. Now I need to verify that I actually put all the 3 lines inside of the document. What command we learned earlier can allow me to see the content of the file? Cat. So cat cmd tab, because I don't want to type entire command or entire name of the file, and enter. So now, if you see all that text that we just echoed inside of this document, you did everything correctly. And it's time for us to take a screenshot for the report. And because we started with actually typing with echo, we're going to take this portion. And create something in the name that will explain to you later what it is. Echo. And then just name of the file, maybe like CMD notes. I'm gonna run clear command. And next, we're going to, create a sibling directory. What is the sibling directory? Like right now I'm in scripts.
It's gonna be, in, that's a directory in scripts. Or is it gonna be just an internal file?
If I create directory inside of the scripts, it's gonna be a child directory.
So it's gonna be a terminal type directory.
So terminal top directory is the parent directory of the script.
Literally, that would make it simple.
And sibling is something inside of the terminal top. Do I need to cd back to the terminal top to create any directory there?
No, so you got that.
We can do that, cd dot and be in one directory up. But I want us to be able to become professionals and professionals, they don't change directory every second, like they know when and where and how to get stuff done without changing directories. So right now, I want us just to stay in terminal talk scripts. Just make sure you are in terminal talk scripts. And you're gonna do mkdir space. And I could type / terminal talk and the name of the new directory. But why would I do an extra work of typing when I can simply just do ... because I know terminal talk is my parent directory, / and the name of the new directory. And new directory, we're going to name drafts. Now we need to verify that we have this drafts directory created for us. ls-l. What am I typing after? What is gonna be an argument? Dot. Because I need to see what's inside of our parent directory.
Yeah.
So we have two siblings, drafts and scripts. And that means we did everything correctly. Please take a screenshot. Just as much. Now, I need to log out of the roots user account. What command would I use? Thank you. So I'm back to my directory as a teacher. And my next step, I need to see those new directories and verify if I can access them, or if I can see any information about them. Give me some directions how I can do that.
ls-l / or clear down / terminal.
ls-l / terminal talk. Good job. Now, what permissions do I have for these directories?
Just reading and executing.
Just read and execute it. Which means I can access directory. I can see what's inside of the directory. But I cannot remove anything and I cannot add anything. Well, at this point, let's just say this should be enough for me to see something. But if I would like to create something, I will have to change permissions. So my users in the future will be able to actually get access to those directories. Now, we didn't learn yet how to change permissions, which puts us in a tough situation. We will have to operate as a root for a little while until we figure out how to change permissions. So if we don't see right permission in those directories, we actually logging back into root. But I'm gonna use different command, not sudo I. Can you tell me how I can use it?
SU root.
Just SU. But also, you can use SU dash. And you're also going to log in as the root. There is gonna be one difference. So let's enter password. Now, by executing SU dash, we logged in as a root into root's home directory, into root's shell. However, because root is so powerful and can do whatever root wants, root can log into anyone's directory. So if we just use SU without dash, we're actually going to remain in the directory we originally were. So it was home directory or whatever it was. We're just gonna remain in the same spot in the file system. So that's the difference between SU dash and just SU. With sudo I, you enter in your own password, but not every user will be able to use sudo I. User have to be assigned permission or be sudoer, someone who can use sudo. So if user is sudoer or sudoer, that means someone who can execute command or elevate their privileges. So sudo is elevating privileges. It doesn't make user into the admin user, but elevate their privileges. All right. Now, as a root, we're going to do some stuff in our new directories. So first, we need to make sure that we create some placeholder files. And those placeholder files, in reality, it doesn't matter where we're going to create them because we will have to move them around for this exercise. But also, I want you to learn how root can use other users' directories and move their files around. So again, we're exiting root. And for a little moment, we're going to operate as ourselves because we're going to change stuff right now in our home directory where we are allowed to do whatever we want. And we're going to create few files. First one is gonna be touch sample mp3. Sample.mp3. Again, remember, it's in our home directory. So we created the file, then who is going to be the owner of the file?
This user login.
Right. So let's verify this. ls-l sample.mp3. Again, if you created a file or directory for your report, you have to actually show me that it exists, that it's actually there. So this, what you need to provide me as a screenshot. The one that you create the directory and the one that shows me that this directory exists and here's the permissions and all the information about that new file. And I'm going to save it as a sample. And I'm not gonna do sample.mp3 because then it's Windows will recognize this as wrong file. I'm gonna do sample-mp3. Next, we're going to use something that called expansion. There is a globbing and expansions that we're going to look at right now. Those two terms mean something that will allow you to create multiple files all at once. So if you see a sign in your exam, in your test, that says create a file like photo on the beach from 1 to 10. You don't do touch photo on the beach 1, touch photo on the beach 2. You also don't do touch and just names of those files. Instead, you do this. Touch. And we're gonna name it intro underscore draft. And we're gonna use curly brackets. That's our expansions. Because we're going to expand something. And we're gonna do 1 dot dot. And for this specific exercise, we're gonna just do 3. We're gonna just create 3 drafts. And it's gonna be dot mp3. Let's verify. So at this moment, I just can run ls command and see what I have inside of my home directory. If I have all the drafts from 1 to 3, it means I did it correctly. So let's take a screenshot of this for our report. That, what you will need to explain in the report for this screenshot.
You created multiple files using home command.
Right, using what?
Expansion.
Expansion. Thank you. Okay, so next step, I'm gonna allow you to do without me showing you how to do it. I want you to create new files. And those files will be named episode. And files will be from 1 to 20. So it's gonna start with episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. But also, if I will create this all in my home directory right now, it's gonna be like in the main home directory, and I do not want to trash my home directory. It's gonna be disaster then for me to manage it. So I want you to create this new files into the music directory, but without actually changing directory to the music directory, with using an absolute file. So you're creating Again, I'm not gonna show you the command because I want you to operate a little bit independently as well. But I'm just gonna echo some of the text that will allow you. Create episode 1 through 20 MP3 files in your music directory using only expansions and absolute path. Okay, it's 11:36 by 11:40. I would expect all of you have all this directories created. I mean, all of these files. And which means I'm giving you 4 minutes, which is more than enough. Technically, it's just a minute, but I'm gonna give you extra in case you need to research. Okay, who is ready to give me the command? What I need to type?
So touch,
Touch.
capital one, M, music,
Just a second, I'm not typing anything. Touch.
capital M, music. Slash, episode. Open curly braces, 1. Dot 20, close curlies. Dot MP3.
Good job. That's exactly how we will create them. Now I need to verify that they were created.
LS.
That's the screenshot. All right. We're gonna be skipping some of the steps from the law, but it doesn't matter if you will not show certain things in the report because I want us to make sure we finish before the end of the class. Now I'm like suddenly realize, oh my God, I just been creating everything in my home directory, but in reality, it's a shareable files that in the future I need to share with other users on this computer. And root conveniently for us created directory that's supposedly shareable. So I would like to copy or move some of these files into that shareable directory. Would I be able to do it? Let's try it. Ready? Okay, we're going to try with the small ones. So we're gonna do CP. And now I'm actually going to use globbing. Globbing is when you use asterisk, and asterisk in a way replaces number of letters or characters. So we're gonna just say copy and all MP3. And we're copying this into backups directory. Uh-oh. Oh, well, of course there is no such a, because I'm not even typing the path correctly. It was a terminal tool backups. But it still tells me no such. What is happening? I know for sure that directories exist, they're there, right? Root created, we verified, we took screenshots.
No, I don't think we made the backups. It was just that one and scripts and drafts. Those are the two we made in terminal files.
Right. Can we create backups there? We need backups,
That's great.
only as a root. Remember, as anybody else, we cannot currently do anything in those directories. They are not really shareable. They created to be in the future at some point shareable, but not at this moment. So right now, the best course of actions for me, actually first, create the directory that doesn't exist, and then move those files and do it all as a root. If I use sudo -i, where I'm gonna end up when I log in as a root?
Your current directory you're in.
That's another. Root home.
Root's home. But I want to stay here. I don't wanna go anywhere. I have stuff to do here.
As you.
That's me. Now I'm entering root's password. And as you can see, root end up in the teacher's home directory. And root can see everything teacher has in the home directory and do whatever he wants, because technically root is the god of the Linux of this system. So now root first going to create new directory, mkdir, and backups is gonna be a sibling directory. No, actually backups should be a second level directory. It's not inside of the terminal talk. So mkdir / backups. Unless, actually, we don't need, unless the shell just to verify it exists. Interesting. Oh. Because I'm looking inside of the directory, not the directory itself. Okay, it's ls dash, actually without -l, just / without anything. Or we can do -d to see the directory. So right now we can see all the directories. But we also can do this. LD. And now we can see it. So when you're trying to see the directory itself, you need to specify its directory with L, option D. Okay, so it's there, it's created, and it's similar to all other ones that other users cannot do anything. Now, root gonna clean up some of the teacher's home directory, or you're gonna, as a root, clean up your directory. So we're going to actually back up everything into backups. So we're gonna do CP globbing, which is asterisk, and MP3. And now at this time, it's gonna be / backups. Let's verify, what did we actually copy there? Now we can do ls-l without the D. And if we type backups, it will show us what's inside of the,
This morning stuff,
yes,
not put SU. I don't know what it says, it's not a password, but it like it types in it.
with SU, you type password of the root, not your password.
And then you type like if you have. Thank you. It's not. So you type it. So like.
Yeah, they fix it not for everybody. It looks like they still for root user keep like blank. You cannot see typing anything. Okay, so we just copied everything, right? That was a task that needs to be for report completed. So we're gonna take a screenshot. First of all, we did create the directory. We verified that directory exists. And we copied the files to backups. We'll get there.
We're just sending it through password.
Okay. Just to make sure, because we don't have enough time to finish up with everything, we're gonna move forward. You guys will have to catch up if you need to. All right. For the next step, we have a bunch of files that we just created in our music directory. In reality, they don't need to be in the right music directory. I want them to be in episodes directory. But they are drafts currently, so we're gonna just move them into drafts before they will become real episodes, but that's not for today. So I'm not gonna copy, I'm gonna move. And now I'm gonna move those files that you created in music directory. So I need your guidance, how I can move files from one directory to another directory. Music, and I can actually use here the relative path because I'm inside of the directory, home directory where music is directly beneath. And now names of those files. Episode.
Early warm up of the
Yeah.
MP3.
What if I tell you, you don't have to do it this way right now? You can, if that will work. But in reality, we're moving all of them, right? All MP3 from that music will be moved at this moment. We know it's there. Instead of typing a lot, this will replace everything. So we're gonna move all MP3 files. What do you think gonna happen if I just leave the start without anything? It will move everything, that's right. Okay, now I'm going to show you where we're going to move it. So now we can actually put terminal talk /, and it's gonna be in drafts. Now, do you want to change names for these files? The answer is no, we don't care right now what they name, so we're gonna just keep original names. So we're just gonna put /. And they're gonna be moved with exactly the same name. And enter. Now we need to verify that we actually moved them. How can we verify that we moved files?
ls tag l
ls -l,
graph.
that's correct, that's where we will see that files there. But how we also can see that files are not in the music anymore.
Oh, sorry. By going to checking ls-l movement.
So ls-l music, and then space, and then // drops. Guess what? We're going to see at the same time what's inside of our music, and at the same time, what's inside of the other directory. We don't have to type this command over and over again. We actually can have multiple arguments within the same command. I want you to take screenshot. Again, I really don't need to see that all episodes there if they don't fit all on the screen. For me, it's more important that you know how to use it and you use it how it's supposed to be. So right now, if I take this screenshot, I already can see that some of the episodes being copied, and based on the command, I know all of them. I also can see that it says music 0, not copied, moved. So music doesn't have any files anymore. And terminal total drafts has currently all those episode drafts. Okay? Awesome. Save it. Let's just save it as move episodes. Okay, getting closer to the end. Now, like I said, I'm going to skip certain steps that is not like super important for the report, and we're going to do only stuff that like will be necessary for the next week, where we're going to build up on top of what we already have. And we need to create new file that's called episode ideas. But I also want this to be created as user, not as the root. Root is gonna be used for admin stuff like moving files, creating directories. But I'm an part of this team, and I'm creating some files that my ideas for the future. So I'm exiting root. And now I'm going to create a few files, actually one file, but with few text, lines of text. And in my lessons, it's given like a basic version for students who learning Linux. You can just follow as it says in that document. However, we're trying to become more advanced. We're trying to become more skillful. That's why I'm going to show you that we don't have to create like echo and append lines all the time. So now I'm going to create inside of my home directory. I'm going to do echo. And I actually will start with single quotes because I want everything to be a text. And I'm gonna type episode 1. History of Nobody asked you. Command line. Period. Now I want this to be continued on the new line. And I previously showed you what character we can use to break the line. Backslash. Oops, not pipe. So I'm gonna do backslash and enter. And it means I'm continuing the same command, just on a new line. And I'm gonna do episode 2. And the why Bosch is better than ZSH. Oh, actually, it's question mark and single. So Bosch is the shell we currently using. It's called born again shell, right? But there are different shells. So ZHS is another one. ZSH. But again, it really doesn't matter because we're just playing right now. So, and I'm going to create new file that doesn't exist. So I'm okay using with the single redirections. And I'm going to call it episode ideas. But actually, I'm gonna do something even crazier because I want to create this to be a file with the space and the name. So I'm gonna open what single quotes. And I'm gonna type episode ideas. And it's going to be also just a text file. So I'm gonna just txt and single quote and enter. First, let's look if the file exists. ls-l. And if you're gonna start typing episode ideas like AB, the top, it's already fills up for you. It put this backward slash, backward slash for to show there is a space. We're gonna work and talk about this specifics in a little later, but it's important to know that it did recognize it's a single file with the space and the name. If we didn't put into single quotes when we were creating that file, it would create two separate files. One is gonna be named episode and another is going to be named ideas, and they both gonna have text. So right now we created file just as it's supposed to be, but we need to verify it has our text. So we're gonna cat. Again, I just type EP and press tab and I create the, and it's filled up everything for me. And we see 2 lines of text. I think it's cool because I didn't have to do extra echo. And now I just wanted you to take screenshots. Actually, one screenshot here also going to just fine. Where you're creating file and you're looking at the content of the file. File. Episode ideas. Okay, in the next step, there is few commands that you can use to view the content of your file. There is a cat that you already learned. There's also head, tail, more, and less. I'm gonna leave it up to you to check those commands. Right now, we have no time, so we're gonna just skip them. We need to still learn how to do links, and we have like really short types. So we're going to create links. You already know something about links, right? It's a shortcut. However, in Linux, there are two types of links. The older version links called hard links. And hard links work the way like a backup in a way. Basically, it creates almost like exact copy of the file. Actually, it might seem as a copy, but in reality, it's exactly the same file. So basically, it's going to be in another location, another access point to the same data in your hard drive on the storage. So like a pointer to the same inode. So what are we going to do right now? First, we're going to create a hard link to our episode ideas. We cannot create this into terminal talk and scripts. So we better to become root. Again, SU. And as a root, now I have no problem creating it or removing or moving around. So now the command itself, ln for link. Now, again, in the lab, there shows you how not to, so you will learn first how to do wrong stuff before you will figure out how to do right stuff. Because we're short on time, we're gonna go straight to the correct command, okay? So ln with links, you absolutely should not use shortcuts and you absolutely should avoid to use relative path. Try to only use an absolute path with links. So now, what is the path to that file, the episode ideas?
Home slash whatever either
Yeah. So /home / teacher or your name / and my episode ideas also has space in the name, so I'm gonna start with the single quotes. Single quotes. So now we just got our first argument, like what we're going to create link to. Now we need to determine location where this link will be existing. So we need it to be in terminal talk scripts. So / terminal talk / scripts / and now you can name it whatever you want. And I hate spaces in the name. So I'm actually going to rename it because I think it's stupid to have space in the name. Episode _ ideas. txt. Now I need to verify that I created this link. So I'm gonna just run quickly ls-l, and it's inside of the scripts. So I'm gonna do terminal talk. Again, I just typed TER and press tab and it did half of work for me, so I don't have to type everything. And CR tab scripts. And now we don't really need to type the name of the link because it's already going to show us because it's a text file. So we see some other files that we moved earlier, created earlier, but our main focus on this one. First, I want you to look at the beginning of this file where permissions, it has a dash. It doesn't have L. We created link, but it does not show it's a link at the beginning. Then you see this number 2. And that's where you're actually hint that it's a hard link. It means there is 2 locations that can point out to the same data and can be accessed from both of those locations. So if you access it from the home directory as a teacher, as me or yourself, and make changes, you're changing the data, you're changing the file, because all the changes will be also represented when you access through the other point. And in case somebody accidentally deleted this file from the shared directory, it was just a link. You still have original data exists. Nobody deletes the data. So it's, in a way, works as a backup. Okay, let's take a screenshot of this. Just like that. And we're gonna name it hard link. And now we need to create soft link. So soft links are more modern version of links that allows us to link directories and link files and link even like directories and files from different file systems. With hard links, you can link only files and only within the same file system. So if there's going to be external storage, you cannot do this. With soft links, it's easier because it's all it does is just like a redirection, sort of like a hyperlink in the web browser. So we're going to create soft link for the terminal talk. So user in the future, when we start sharing them, will be able to access it easily. So we're going to do ln -s, so option S for soft or symbolic. There are 2 terms that use for this type of links. / terminal talk. And now we're going to put this link into the home and teacher. So later I can easily access this directory without going to the root directory. But now we also need to give it a name. And we can just give the same name without any changes because remember, it's just a like click only. That's not a pointer, not a separate file. So I'm gonna name it TT for terminal talk. -link. And enter. And now I'm gonna quickly check if my link exists there. But before I even check this, I'm actually going to exit back to my regular user. And I'm gonna do a less without. And do I see TT link here?
Yeah.
Is it bright blue?
Yes.
Awesome. we just accomplished what we needed to do. So now we're going to show how we created soft link, and that soft link actually exists where we created it. And that's your last screenshot. Now, go to office.com, there's like 7 minutes, and post all your screenshots into Word document that later will become your report. So I'm going to do the same, just to make sure I provide this information for you, how you do it. If you use Google Docs, I'm cool with that too. I don't care, whatever you like to use to share with yourself stuff. I like to put directly in Word because that's where I'm going to create my report. So right here in my Word document. Right now, I don't care, I'm not gonna put like a lot of work and effort into creating a report. I'm just gonna put screenshots to make sure I have that. However, that's not your report, that's not your final product, please do not submit me just a document with screenshots. You will need to make it into like real report. Title page, cover page, whatever name it. I don't need to follow like all the academic standards for APA. Just make sure it's presentable. So I'm gonna do insert picture on this device. And I'm gonna go to where my screenshots are. All the pictures. And I have more than I need here, so I need to make sure the ones only for 2 days lesson. Let's see. I will be ordering and organizing them later. They're not in order right now, which is actually maybe not a really good naming than on my side. Maybe we should next time name it 1, 2, 3 and insert them in alphabetic order or numeric order. But at this point, I gave myself a chance to return to this document and make it into the report. And this is going to be my weekly underscore report underscore. Actually, it's not weekly, it's a report with the report with a underscore last name. Now I will be able to access this document from home and work on it and get it ready to be submitted. As your homework, that's the last step what you need to do. Just get this report done and submit it. You don't have to do a lot of work anymore, except Red Hat Labs. So if you go to the modules, you will see, if you see submission form, like the actual assignment in the module, that will tell you like Red Hat Lab. So we are currently in the week 3. Do you see Red Hat Lab submission there? The actual submission that says for the labs, week 3 labs. So right now it tells you that you need to complete all 3 labs. You don't need to put it in the report. All I need from you for those labs, run at the end a lab grade command. If you got all pass, take a screenshot and submit screenshot, not in the report form. Last week, I asked only for 1 lab. There was 2, but I said 1 off. Which means last week I was okay with you submitting 1 lab just to see if you actually figure out how to access lab environment. This week, I want you to complete all these 3 labs. Just make sure you're doing them. Now, 1 of 4, Red Hat 1 of 4, it's very basic and it's a lot of actual graphic interface, less of the command line. 124, it's all command line. I think those labs will help you like practice again what we did in class. Any questions? Well, if there is no questions, I can let you know.